Hi, this is an ending spoiler for the movie The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. I also have the spoiler written in the info section, so you can follow along. On the day of his 111th birthday, with Frodo leaving to wait for Gandalf the Grey, Bilbo Baggins decides to write down the full story of the adventure he took 60 years ago. Bilbo writes about how, prior to his own actual involvement, the dwarf Thror became king under the mountain and brings an era of prosperity to his kin until the arrival of Smaug the dragon. Drawn by the amount of gold the dwarves have amassed, Smaug destroys a local town of men before driving the dwarves out of Erebor. Thror's grandson, Thorin, sees the elves up on the hillside and is dismayed to find them taking their leave rather than aiding his people. 60 years earlier, a curious young hobbit named Bilbo, age 51, is tricked by Gandalf into hosting a party for Thorin and his band of dwarves that doubles as a recruitment as the dwarves' burglar to help them steal their treasure back from Smaug. Though Bilbo refuses at first, he decides to join the company on their journey to the Lonely Mountain. During his first night sleeping in the wild, Bilbo learns about how the dwarves met when they were fighting back for the dwarven city of Moria that fell under Orc dominion. The leader of the Orcs, Azog, the Pale Orc, kills Thror. Thorin, devastated, fights back, using part of an oak tree trunk as a shield, chopping off Azog's forearm to turn the tide of the battle, with Azog presumed dead. However, the battle proves to be a victory, as the vast majority of the Dwarven army is killed. So, not really a victory though, because so many of them were killed actually, so not a good thing. Gandalf leaves the company after he comes into conflict with Thorin, when he proposes they seek elven aid on their quest. The group gets captured by mountain trolls, but Bilbo is able to stall the trolls from eating them until dawn, when Gandalf arrives and saves the company. They search the trolls' cave and find treasure in elvish blades. Thorin and Gandalf each take an elvish blade, with the latter finding an elvish short sword, which he gives to Bilbo. The group encounter Radcast the Brown, a wizard who lives in Greenwood with nature. He tells them of a strange presence he encountered at Dol Guldur and how it's poisoning the forest. The group are then chased by orcs and wargs, with Radgrast covering their escape. They manage to escape through a stone passage, as the wargs and orc are slain by elven riders, and Gandalf reveals that he has led them to the elven stronghold of Rivendell, despite Thorin's antipathy towards the elves. Elrond reveals the names of the two swords, and reveals the map's indication of a secret door that's revealed on Durin's Day. Gandalf talks to Elrond, Galadriel, and Samwise the White about Sauron the Right, about his involvement with the dwarves, explaining the presence Radagast encountered, and expresses mild suspicion that this necromancer is Sauron, a dark Lord from the Second Age. The others are skeptical, believing Sauron to have been defeated forever, and that this necromancer is not a true threat. Gandalf produces the Sword of the Witch King, which should be impossible to remove from his enchanted grave, found by Radagast as proof. Though the others are against him aiding them, Gandalf believes Smaug may become a greater threat if allied with Sauron. So he sends Bilbo and the dwarves, who have already departed during their meeting, ahead towards the Misty Mountains. Passing over the Misty Mountains, barely surviving an encounter with stone giants, Thorin declares that Bilbo was not fit to have joined them, prompting Bilbo to try and leave. However, he and the dwarves are captured by goblins and taken to the Goblin King, who reveals that Azog is still alive and has placed a bounty on Thorin's head. Separated from the group, as they were captured, Bilbo encounters Gollum, who accidentally drops a mysterious ring while killing a stray goblin to feed on. Picking up the ring and placing it in his pocket, Bilbo finds himself confronted by Gollum as they play a game of riddles, the stakes of which are that Bilbo will be shown the way out if he wins, or eaten by Gollum if he loses. After Bilbo wins by asking Gollum what was in his pocket, Gollum realizes the ring has ended up in Bilbo's possession. Bilbo discovers the ring grants him invisibility, and escapes a furious Gollum. Gandalf arrives and saves the dwarfs from the goblins, slaying the Goblin King during their escape. Still invisible from the ring because of the ring's power, Bilbo takes pity on Gollum and resists the urge to kill him, and escapes the caves to find the group. Bilbo overhears the dwarves, who assume he has fled home and abandoned them, and rejoins them regardless, keeping the ring he found secret. As Thorin presses to know how he avoided the goblins, Gandalf, spotting the ring, persuades Thorin to drop the question. The moment of triumph is cut short as they are ambushed by Azog and his hunting party. After taking refuge in the cliffside trees before the wargs uproot most of them, Thorin charges Azog, but is defeated and knocked to the ground. Bilbo shows his true courage as he defends Thorin before the group is saved by eagles, who fly into safety on the Karrak. After being revived, Thorin says all his doubts about Bilbo were wrong, and he finally accepts Bilbo as being worthy of being part of their quest. In the distance, they see the lonely mountain where Smaug, the dragon, wakes from his bed of treasure after hearing the noise of a thrush, a bird. That's the ending.